Warren Buffett bought a Brazilian fintech startup in 2021. By early 2025, he'd sold every single share. The story of why he got in, why he got out, explains more about international investing than any explainer video ever will. I'm Edward, this is Money Beyond Borders. This show exists because there's a real credentialed case from people like Jeremy Grantham that the next decade of returns look different than the last one. I've noticed a lot of people, Grantham, Galloway, Oppenheimer, the late Charlie Munger, recommending move money out of the US for a bunch of different reasons. What got me interested wasn't whether it was right, it was wait. That's what I do. I look at foreign investments for a small private investment firm. And I'm also a content creator, growing this YouTube channel, EdwardEffect. Please subscribe. So why not build a show around it, expanding beyond borders? The show deals in funny money, not real money. For anything real, talk to your actual broker. This is here for people to learn, hopefully in a fun and interesting way. What you do with the information, that's your call. Galloway's actually called this rotation the prediction he's most proud of getting right. Over the past year, international developed markets are up 48%, emerging markets 55% against the S&P's 34%. In his words, international is winning. Today's episode is a good gut check on that thesis because it's not actually a pure line goes up kind of story. Nu Holdings, NU, you'll see it as Nubank, is Brazil's largest digital bank, NU on the New York Stock Exchange. Founded in 2013, headquartered in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Over 60% of Brazilian adults have an account with them. They've expanded hard into Mexico and Colombia and are coming to the USA in 2027. Before, 5 banks controlled something like 80% of Brazil's banking assets before Nubank showed up. I'm sure the old guard much preferred the lack of competition and just running everything like toll booths. But this is a new generation with new ideas and new technology and, in my opinion, excellent energy. Excellent Brazilian energy. The best kind, right? Before, account fees, credit card interest rates, north of 300%, and Nubank's whole pitch was, don't do that. And people say younger generations are lazy. Sounds like in Brazil, it's the opposite. The card itself became the thing. Roxino, the little purple one, turned into a status symbol for people the traditional banks wouldn't even look at. You show up with a purple card, everyone knows what that means. And that's why the retention numbers look so different than your typical fintech churn. Here's the Buffett story. Berkshire Hathaway built a stake starting in Q4 of 2021. They started trimming it through 2024, and by Q1 of 2025, they'd sold their entire position, every share, walking away with roughly $250 million profit. You know, that's how he do. So this isn't, Buffett still holds this, so therefore it's safe. It's the opposite lesson, really. Even a company doing real things, genuine disruption of Brazil's banking system, real expansion into other countries, a market cap that sat anywhere from 60 to 80 billion over the past year, can still be something a famously long-term investor decides to exit. Buffett getting in early and getting out with a profit isn't an endorsement of the stock today. It's a reminder that smart money was here doesn't mean smart money is here. However, we know Buffett detests cryptocurrency, which Nubank has gotten into. Buffett called it, memorably, rat poison squared. So depending on your personal take on cryptocurrency, you might feel different. One more thing worth flagging. Nu just got conditional approval for a bank charter in the United States. A lot of their employees have moved to Miami, of course. Why wouldn't you? Targeting a 2027 launch. Here's a number that puts that in perspective. Texas has a larger GDP itself than the entire country of Brazil. That again underscores the mammoth size of the US economy. That also means Nu's next decade of growth might not even need a passport. They do have competitors in Mercado Libre and Revolut. Let's go ahead and get our 10K funny money shares on the paper trade. All right, we got Nu up right here, New York Stock Exchange. You can see right now it's at about $13.94. Coming off February, kind of a little high there, somewhere 1878. We'll back up a little bit. If you look at news chart over the past year, you're looking at a little bit of a fintech roller coaster. Back in mid-2025, the stock was hovering like around 12, hit a low of 9.65. Then over the next 6 months, you can see it was pushed up like 60%. What drove that rally? Pure operational scale. Nubank crossed over 131 million users, generating nearly $3 billion in annual net profit, and expanded their average revenue per customer to $15 while keeping their costs under $1. The dip back towards the 14 you can see here was due to macro profit taking and a fintech sector reevaluation. But with expanded credit lines in Mexico and Colombia and a pending US bank charter, I would say new NU has some new NEW fundamentals. Let's go ahead and check our stocks, and as you can see, Caspi's come up a little bit. These we've only had for a few weeks, so we really don't have much data to go on there, but Melly and Grab, our other two from our other episodes, are down a little bit. And so we're going to do the same thing, 10,000 of new market order. $10,000 leverage 1-to-1. That's going to get us about 717 new shares for our paper portfolio. We'll go ahead and buy that. And there we go, executed. So now we have 4 stocks. That's episode 4. Next episode, not every story like this has a happy ending. I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like when it doesn't. I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing here is personalized financial advice. This research is part of what I do for work. Sharing it publicly doesn't turn anything into a recommendation for your money. Nothing here is a recommendation to buy or sell anything specific. This is research, frameworks, and a fun paper portfolio. Not real money, not a track record. Talk to a licensed professional before you do anything with your own, and see you in the next one.